Pray with me. Lord, take me where you want me to go. Let me meet who you want me to meet. Tell me what you want me to say, and please keep me out of your way. Amen. Please be seated. Have you ever given very much thought to bread? I love bread in all its forms. Focaccia bread, garlic knots, fresh sourdough, and what about Parker House rolls? Oh my gosh. And my grandmother, my dear, dear grandmother, on a farm in South Georgia, made the absolute best from-scratch biscuits, served at every meal, hot out of the oven in her farmhouse kitchen. Butter just melting all over them. Oh my gosh, there are no words for those biscuits. None. I can taste them to this day. Bread is indeed wonderful. But for most of us well-fed humans today, it's kind of an accessory to the meal. It's not the meal itself. It's not a matter of life or death for us. But that was not always the case. Bread for hundreds and even thousands of years was the main staple of life. Remember the young boy who gave up his meal so 5,000 could be fed by Jesus? Well, that meal, no doubt lovingly packed by his mother, consisted of 5 small loaves and 2 fish, enough to sustain a growing boy for a full day. In Jesus' time, bread was what kept people alive. And he begins using it as a metaphor in today's gospel, comparing himself in a way to bread. But all this talk is shocking to Jewish ears of the day. It sounds just a bit cannibalistic. And the religious leaders are having none of it. After all, they have laws recorded in Leviticus in the Old Testament that forbade the drinking of even animal blood, let alone human blood. So you can see what sounds is just a bit weird to us, well, to the Jews of Jesus' time was completely outrageous. I think we modern readers all get that Jesus is speaking metaphorically here. But just what is he trying to get across to everyone? I believe that this reading has Eucharistic overtones, but I don't believe that John in his gospel means to reduce the meaning of this reading to participation in the Eucharist alone. And here's the deal. It is Christ who is present in the Eucharist service, and to who the bread and the wine point, who gives life. It is not because myself or Mother Deborah or some other priest somehow does something magical and affects the bread and the wine that gives life, like some miracle drug does. Yet even with that said, John is still insisting on the importance of participating in the Eucharist. People throughout time have been tempted to have their own private, individualistic faith. We should all have a one-on-one relationship with God. I'm not suggesting otherwise. But what John is saying here is that participation in the Eucharist service is an act of Christian confession, done with and before others. When you come to the rail, you're actually confessing that you believe in Jesus Christ. And in doing so, that's a testimony, folks. You're witnessing for all the others in the room to see that you believe in the truth of our faith. It's just like baptism, and we have another one at the 11 o'clock service today. It's announcing to the community by action your belief in participating in the bread and the wine that Christ offers. So you see, participating in the Eucharist is both a reenactment of an ancient ritual and an announcement of our faith at the same time. Folks, bread is important to life, but it's only temporary. We digest it and its effects leave us oh so quickly. But Jesus is eternal. He sustains us and offers us life beyond our daily existence. And the weekly Eucharist right here reminds us of that. The Eucharist service itself can be such a mystery, and I get that. About 5 years ago, I offered an instructive Eucharist here, where each part of our service was explained. I will do that again during next week's service. I hope you'll come and participate in that. It's a most illuminating service. And please, 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 come forward, for this is the Lord's table, and everyone, and I do mean everyone, is welcome to receive communion from it. Amen.